bill is defeated. Thank you very much.
By a 20-14 margin, the state Senate this afternoon rejects a bill to legalize gay marriage in New Jersey. Same-sex marriage for the Garden State will have to wait for another day, if at all. The upper house today defeated the measure in a monumental vote watched closely across the nation. The controversial bill raised a number of hot-button issues, from sexuality and civil rights to the meaning of the institution of marriage. State House correspondent Zachary Fink is standing by now in the Capitol with the very latest on the legislation's defeat. Zach?
Well, Jim, for the most part, Republicans were united in this opposition to this bill, with the exception of Bill Baroni, who we'll hear from a little bit in the piece. So advocates were hoping that Democrats would stand with them and vote for what they call marriage equality. In the end, 6 Democrats voted against it, and 3 Democrats didn't vote at all, including incoming Senate President Stephen Sweeney.
This afternoon, senators headed into the chamber to begin voting on an issue that has dominated at the State House these last several weeks: gay marriage.
Men and women, or man and woman, don't have exclusive rights to relationships built on trust, love, compassion, and everything else that bonds two people together.
I come away with a different opinion. I heard nothing that cannot be fixed about the problems that were presented to us by folks who are in a civil union relationship. There are many problems, but for each of those, we put our minds to it.
A bill legalizing gay marriage cleared the Senate Judiciary Committee last month, but the vote before the full Senate was canceled at the behest of the sponsors when there weren't enough votes to pass it. The vote was then rescheduled for today, the second to last day of the legislative session.
For me, this is about the process. This is about letting the residents of New Jersey decide a major redefinition that has been recognized for thousands and thousands of years.
But there are many who believe that this bill will change our entire culture. In my view, so momentous a change should be, must be, submitted to the people for a public vote.
Senator Cardinale has proposed to put marriage equality on the ballot, just as the New Jersey legislature did in 1914, when the voters rejected a women's right to vote by a 58 to 42% margin. Thankfully, 6 years later, the New Jersey Senate voted 18-2 to ratify an amendment to the United States Constitution giving women the right to vote.
What do you have to be frightened about if this were to become law? How does it change anybody's daily lives? The lives of your spouses, your children, the people at work? I don't know. Is it going to affect our children at school? I don't think so. I don't understand it.
Senator Bill Baroni was the sole Republican to vote for the bill in committee. Unlike his Republican colleagues, however, he says federal law prevents civil unions from ever making gay couples equal.
There's a little federal law called ERISA. Senator Gill, during the hearing, pointed this out. It's a federal law that says that if a company insures itself, as opposed to buying an insurance plan for its employees through a commercial vendor, they're governed at federal law, not state law. Half of our companies in our state are governed by ERISA. And ERISA does not require giving benefits to civil union couples.
Guess what? To those proponents of this bill that I am unfortunately going to disagree with here today, sometimes people just disagree with you. Maybe they don't share your perspective. Maybe they don't share your values. Maybe they just disagree with you. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe in disagreeing with you in some future legislature, people will be able to come back and point out to my mistake.
For the last several weeks on legislative days, activists on both sides of the issue have been coming down to the State House to make their views known. Today was no exception. They were out in force. Jerry Henry has that story.
Hundreds of activists lined the hallways outside Senate chambers waiting for the anticipated vote. It was a large but well-behaved crowd, too large for all to get inside. Many, like this couple from South Brunswick, have logged hours here lobbying for the gay marriage bill. The women have been united for 20 years, and to some, a symbol of the marriage equality movement.
Our relationship is a marriage, and if it isn't, I dare anyone to tell me what it is. It's not a civil union, and we all want equality, and that's what we're looking for.
Then there were those like Stephen Goldstein, who were just glad to get the issue to a vote.
To those who oppose our right to marry, this is a political issue. To those of us who want to get married to our partners, this is our lives. I've run a lot of political campaigns for other people. This one's different. This one's not even having your name on the ballot, so to speak. This is about having your entire life, your dignity, the essence of who you are on the ballot. It is impossible to describe to you how moving and how poignant it is today that this vote is happening.
But as those who support the bill call it equality, opponents say the push is to redefine marriage.
We believe that this really should be a vote that goes to the people through a referendum, and that's what we've been working on for the past number of years. So obviously this is just, one more step in that process. But ultimately we think that the people of New Jersey, just like in 31 other states, should have the right to vote on whether marriage should be redefined as no longer the union of a man and a woman.
Even if that vote went counter to your position?
Well, even if the vote today goes counter to our position, we would still advocate and work towards seeing marriage, a referendum, go to the people.
Orthodox Jews and other religious leaders also opposed it.
If you come into my neighborhood and you put down my God and you put down our values and you attack, in effect, my wife, my children, my daughter by trying to redefine marriage and family, what am I supposed to do? Stay home and go to sleep? We already see the family is beleaguered and under attack. It's so hard to raise children normal. How are the next generation of children going to know how to stay in a stable married relationship for their children, our grandchildren, with the new homosexual definition of everything goes within a marriage?
Jerry Henry, NJN News, Trenton.
This was really the last chance to get this done legislatively in New Jersey, because incoming Governor Chris Christie, Republican, has said that he will not sign a gay marriage bill, and so that puts it off for at least another 4 years. Advocates are saying it will basically have to go back to court. The New Jersey Supreme Court has already said that there needs to be full equality under the law. The civil unions law was passed, but now you have widespread acknowledgement on both sides that the civil unions laws fall short, including going to the issue that Bill Baroni was talking about on the floor. So it could very well wind up back before the Supreme Court. However, that would take a test case to wind its way through the courts. That could be somewhere between a year and 3 years. There's no way actually to know that, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I'm Zachary Fink, live at the State House. Jim, back to you.
And a monumental day down there indeed, Zach. Thank you.